Hi, and welcome to In the Loop. I'm Daneen O'Donnell, and today I'm with Bruce Decker from the Veterans History Project. How are you today, Bruce?
Very well.
So, Bruce, you're working on a very interesting project that I had never heard before, and it involves veteran. And today we're standing here at the American Legion in Lindora, and I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about what you have going on. What is this special project that you're doing?
It's been about 15 years since the Library of Congress established the Veterans History Project. Okay. Basically, the procedure is this. The need for it is that the veterans are dying off from World War II. There are just a few left. They're going at about 1,000 a day. We need their histories, their oral histories of what they did, where they did it, how they felt about it. Military historians, for example, are like sketch artists. They go out and they read the reports, the action reports and the after reports, and that gives them the outline. But to fill in the blanks, such as Tom Brokaw did in his book, The Greatest Generation, you need to talk to the soldiers. Not just the soldiers, you need to talk to Rosie the Riveter, for example, who was big on the home front and the war wouldn't have worked without her. So this project by the Library of Congress is intended to extract those histories. We talk to the veterans of all wars, not just World War II, but all wars. Talk to them individually about where they served, what units they were with, and what they did, to the extent they can talk about it. And then we submit that to Congress. Now, there's a second benefit, and that is the veteran gets a copy of this report so that he can give it to his children, grandchildren, and it's recorded in the Library of Congress forever. So 50 years from now, 100 years from now, when somebody's doing genealogy, there's what great-great-grandfather Smith did in Vietnam or in Afghanistan.
And they have it then as a personal record and a memorial for him.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you go about finding these veterans? How do you find them to interview them? That must be a difficult thing to do.
I found one in the audiologist office the other day. I was in there to get my hearing aids adjusted, and here was this gentleman sitting there, and he looked sort of veteranish. So I said, are you a veteran? Yes. Gave him my card, and we're going to arrange an interview. That's the way it happens. My associate, Chuck Jennings, works closely with the VA. Many veterans at the VA, of course. Right. But you find them wherever you find them. Maybe our cameraman was in Afghanistan or Iraq. I would talk to him and give him my card, and we'd arrange an interview. Okay,
now what does the interview involve? Like, how complicated is it for them? Do you go to their house? Do they come to you?
Well, it's not complicated for them at all. We have a fair amount of paperwork to do, and all they have to do is tell us what to put on the paper. Okay. That's before the interview. We do a pre-interview to get an idea of the flow of information that's going to come from them. Okay. Then we'll turn the camera on and we'll do an interview and lightly edit it at the end. There's no cost to the veteran. I should emphasize that. There is cost to the volunteer like me and like Mr. Jennings, but we absorb that because that's what we want to do. So there's no cost to the vet. We go to their house, they can come to ours, we'll meet them anywhere and conduct the whole process, which takes about, I would say, at least 2 hours.
Okay.
But it's in a comfortable setting, so the time passes quickly.
Right. Now, when you do these interviews, what area does this encompass? Is this just Butler County, or do you go all over?
Well, being reasonable about it, let's say it's the Butler area. I don't feel like traveling down to Pittsburgh to do an interview. Let somebody from Pittsburgh do those.
Okay, so there are people other places that are all over that are doing these.
Butler is a hotbed, if you will, of military service. We have many veterans here, so I don't have to go anyplace else. I'll just do a little hunting here.
It'll keep you busy.
It'll keep us busy.
It'll keep you busy. Now, how can people find out more about this, or how can they contact you if they know someone that they think might be a good person to interview?
Contact Barb Taylor at the Veterans Administration Hospital at the number on the screen. Both Mr. Jennings and I are volunteers at the VA, and she is involved with that program. So it's very simple. Just contact the VA, Miss Taylor.
So Bruce, can you give me an example of an interview of a person who's a good contact, or how might this benefit the family?
Well, let me tell you a little anecdote, if I may. Chuck and I did an interview several weeks ago with a veteran from World War II. Interesting man. He was on a ship that served as a ground control ship with the generals and the admirals on it at Guadalcanal and Iwo Jima. Now that doesn't mean a lot to some people, but to vets who are listening and their families, it means a lot. These were two major battles in World War II. He had never told his son some of these things. His son was in the other room while we were doing the interview. He was fixing a meal, and I went in to get a glass of water when the interview was over, and he said to me, you know, Dad has told you things he never said to us.
Isn't that something?
Well, think about that. I mean, grandchildren and so forth, Grandpa keeps it pretty much to himself. But when he gets into an interview, he's going to tell us things that they might like to know.
So it's a great opportunity for them to open up about things
Oh,
that
it
they
really
may have
opens
not
up, yeah.
talked about for a long time.
Absolutely.
Well, Bruce, I think it sounds like a fascinating project, and I know that there are lots of veterans out there in this area that I think would really benefit from this, and we'd love to talk to you about it. So if you can, contact Bruce, contact the Veterans Hospital. The numbers are on the screen. Bruce, thanks so much for your time. For Armstrong, I'm Daneen O'Donnell, keeping you in the loop.